Well, it's finally time for me to talk about something that doesn't involve my favorite movies of all time. So yeah, this is the first time I'm doing a Reviewing Network Talks About without, like I said, we're talking about my favorite movies of all time. But like I said before, I'll do another list like that later on in the year. But for the next couple of months now, it's going to be focusing on specific topics I want to talk about. Like this was always intended to be a continuation of the My Take On post that I did over on the website. I stopped doing and switched over to these because I thought these would make these a lot more easier to work on. And so that's what these are going to be like, discussions talking about various things I've found over the last couple of weeks and months, and stuff that I want to talk about that probably could be suitable for the Reviewing Network Live as well. But I thought I'd bring them up here, and let's start off with this topic I wanted to bring up here. It's hard to believe that we're getting close to the 2-year anniversary of the Bob's Burgers movie. The fact that that movie came out almost 2 years ago, it really does feel like it was only just a couple months ago that movie came out. But nope, it's been on FX for a couple of months now, and I still really like the movie. I don't like the fact that it got kind of screwed over with Top Gun Maverick coming out on the same day. Like, Disney knew it wasn't going to make any money, even though that if you put it in a weekend besides that, it probably would have made more money than what it did. But I still really like the movie. I think there was a lot of things about it that worked. I still really enjoyed the film a lot, and it kind of plays into what the topic of this week's discussion is going to be about, because I've really come to the realization that Bob's Burgers right now is probably the best primetime animated show on television right now. Now, of course, I'm talking about, like, with the Fox animated shows. I'm not really talking about, like, the Adult Swim shows, because Adult Swim has had some really good shows in the last couple of years. Primal has been great. My Adventures with Superman was my favorite show of last year. But in terms of the shows on Fox, like right now, The Simpsons is still my favorite TV show of all time, and yeah, they've been on a nice stretch of seasons the last couple of years with some really great episodes over the course of the last probably 5-6 years since they started getting back to like being really, really good again. Like there's those brief low points every couple of years where they would have seasons where they weren't that great overall, but then they'd have these little boosts up there where the show was getting back to a continuously good level. And the last couple of seasons have definitely been on that level for The Simpsons. Family Guy, I've talked about it over the last couple of weeks, and I've just come to the realization that Family Guy is just running out of ideas. They are literally chugging along at this point, because Family Guy had that little brief stretch a couple years ago where they had their bad years, and then there was a couple of seasons where it's just like, they're slowly but surely finding their way back again. But this last season, these last couple of episodes has just been like, ugh. It's back to being not that good again. And I don't know if it's because of the writer's strike or not, but it's been really unbearable to get through the last couple of episodes of Family Guy, especially since they made the move to Wednesday night, which probably is a sign that Fox is pretty much getting sick and tired of it too, and just like they're getting ready to pull the trigger on that sometime soon. But you still get some stuff here and there. The Great North has been still a pretty solid show overall. American Dad has still been good ever since it moved to TBS. The newer shows they've had, I've not been a fan of. I didn't like Crapopolis. Grimmsburg has kind of let me down too, because like there's brief flashes of promise there, but nothing that really makes me have to say that I need to keep watching this show as many times as I do. I've only catched a couple of episodes, and honestly, nothing really has been like sticking out with me so far. But so like Bob's Burgers is really one of those shows that it really is amazing that they've done 14 seasons now, and they've never had that stretch of bad episodes. I mean, every single season has been consistently good. Like, there's been a lot of good episodes. There's some bad episodes here and there, but honestly, when you really look at what Bob's Burgers has done over the course of its run, it's probably the most consistent run of a good stretch run of any show out there, besides The Simpsons in those first maybe 10-15 years of the show. But yeah, Bob's Burgers really has never had that stretch of really bad seasons, really bad episodes. A bad episode here and there, but never to the point where I would say that the show hit a downward spiral. No, the show has been consistently good ever since it first premiered on the air. Like, it really, the worst stretch of the show was early on in season 1, when the show was kind of struggling to figure out what they wanted to do, because it was a completely different show at the beginning, and then had to change over to the kind of Fox family formula that The Simpsons and Family Guy eventually became. And then starting with season 2 onward, the show just kept getting better and better and better, and it's been consistently good for a long period of time ever since then. And it's amazing to believe that the Bob's Burgers movie kind of was the beginning, kind of shows, the show has a different kind of beginning going for it, because the last couple of seasons have really been pretty extravagant for what they've been able to do. I mean, there's been a lot of really good episodes in seasons 13 and 14, and I think I started to notice it when they did the episode where it was like halfway through the 13th season last year. It was the 9th episode, Show Mama from the Grave, which came out around Thanksgiving, and it was an episode where, you know, Bob and his family go out to go snobbing, but they decide to make a side trip to see his mother's grave first. Now, keep in mind, the Bob's Burgers movie was the first time we ever got to see Bob's mother in full. She'd been talked about for a long time, and now we're just seeing her for the first time ever.
She used to wear this brightly colored winter hat, even in warm weather. It was a little weird, but it was kind of cute, I guess. She always said it was because she didn't feel like doing her hair. I think she just liked it.
It was part of one of the big emotional moments of the movie, and one of the reasons why I love that movie so much. But in the episode, this leads to problems, as the grave map Bob has given is impossible to read, the sun is setting fast, the markers are built in snow, and Linda remains outside the graveyard, stricken by coimetophobia, and then Teddy accidentally eats forbidden meatloaf from the Belch's fridge while doing light repairs to the house and panics a bit. And the episode basically sets itself up for the moment where Bob's going to go visit his mother in the cemetery, which is set up very nicely, and it's a really good episode, and it really is a nice callback to the movie. Like, I really think they did a fantastic job of handling that situation and bringing that in from the movie overall.
Listen, I think I know your mom well enough to know that she would be okay with you not coming till now. Because she'd want you to be busy living your life with your 3 beautiful children and your fun hot wife, Linda. And she'd be so proud of you. I mean, look what you've done. With the restaurant, with this family. Tina, take your hand out of your butt.
Sorry. Thanks, Lynn.
The great thing about the ending of this episode is that not only is it great to see, you know, Bob finally going to see his mother and all that, but it's just the way that, you know, Linda was able to comfort him during the situation and telling him it's okay that it's been a while, so it's been too long since you've actually been there to see your mother, and it leads up to Bob basically saying, "Hi, Mom."
Hi, Mom.
I've talked about in the last couple of videos about how, you know, saying lines the right way can be really funny if they're done the right way, but also saying lines, just saying the simplest lines, can actually work in an emotional way too. Because, you know, H. Don Benjamin is a really great actor, because he could do so much without really, you know, giving a full range of emotions. And then the times that he does it, it can work in a lot of different ways. It can be really funny, it can be really sad at times, and like, I love the fact that he gets a lot of emotion out there by just saying 2 simple words.
Hi, Mom.
And you can just tell that it really does make him shiver and make him real, and it feels very realistic, and a lot of people can really relate to that. I mean, he really is a good fun father figure, and like probably the best overall father that these Fox animated shows have had. And I like the idea that, like, you can really buy into what the relationships are between everybody in here, because you can definitely relate to a lot of it. You can relate to Bob during this situation here, like always being afraid to visit somebody after so many years, but it's realizing that you have no idea how you're going to respond to that. And like, the show does a very good job of continuing what the movie was basically doing with its best, you know, heavy moments in the film. And in this episode in particular, I thought that was a very good job in showing that this show has done more to surprise people that, in terms of the quality overall, that I think a lot of people really would not have expected. I think it's also because the show is getting more experimental too. There's been a lot of episodes since the movie where they've really taken opportunities to just do something unique and different. Like, there's an episode very late on in the season called Radio No You Didn't, where, you know, the family finds this old radio, and Bob basically tells his family the story about World War II espionage involving his great-grandmother, and it's very dramatic, and yet it's very realistic. Like, you always hear stories like this from your grandparents of how life was back in the day and how they tell these epic stories, and I like the way that Bob is able to tell the story, and you get so invested in what's going on with it, and I think it's done very well.
Mr. Miller had just ripped the phone cord out of the wall, and Alice had to think fast.
Oh, he's the spy! He's the spy!
Oh, Alice. Oh, Alice!
Alice saw her chance. She used her free arm and all her strength to tip the radio over onto Mr. Miller's foot.
And what's great about this is that it doesn't feel like it's escaping from the norm of Bob's Burgers. Like, I also love how in this scene where, you know, Bob's telling the family the end of the story, where they find out that the guy that they know is actually the spy, and you just see the animation look so unique and like it moves very fluently. Like, this is I wouldn't be surprised if this was also the director of the Bob's Burgers movie, Bernard Derriman, who, you know, he's done a lot of great animation for the show that really looks like something out of a James Baxter animation style. Like, if you've seen a lot of movies with James Baxter's animation style, and like the way that these characters move sometimes, it's amazing to think about. Like, I don't understand why people criticize the animation on this so much. Yeah, in the first season you could probably say that, but as the show has gone on, the animation's definitely gotten a lot better, and it's really a crucial part of the show. Which brings me to another episode of noteworthiness, the season finale from last year, which was simply called Amelia.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming. I mean, you had to. It's school. So, here's my project. This is a plane, but don't think of it as a plane. Think of it as a superpower. Because in 1920, if you were brave enough to fly one of these things, to even go up in one, you were kind of a superhero.
That's true for pretty much all new technology. It was the same with cars.
Oh, no talking. Thank you, Wayne. Okay, now you've thrown the timing off. Resetting. Tina, Jean.
Whoops, dropped the cloud.
And it was basically an episode where you have Louise deciding to choose Amelia Earhart for a multimedia project on a personal hero. She's motivated by Wayne's obnoxious dismissal of Earhart's achievements, and Louise grapples with what Earhart's final failed flight means for a report for young women and for herself. And then at the same time, Linda finds herself gifted with a surprise Mother's Day gift and finds a deeper gift in which helping Louise with this project helps her out in the same way. And like, it's a really good episode for a number of different reasons. Like, for one thing, I'm pretty sure that Louise didn't really want to do... It's set up right away that Louise did not really want to do an Amelia Earhart project, but she was kind of forced into it, but she puts her all into this. The visuals in this look amazing. Like, I can't believe that this show tests the limits of what they're able to accomplish here with some of the stuff that they do in this particular episode.
And sometimes, yeah, people with louder, deeper voices get heard more, and that's really annoying. But that doesn't make me want to make my voice lower and deeper. That just makes me mad. I mean, I can do it. Hey, I'm Louise. See? Pretty good. But that's not the point. Look what Earhart did. She saved her money, and she bought her bright red Lockheed Vega. That was her saying, hello, this is what my voice sounds like.
Again, kind of why the Bob's Burgers movie I think is so significant is that it begins kind of the growth of the character development of Louise, which Louise was kind of set up to be kind of like, you know, the Bart Simpson of the show, where she was kind of like the troublemaker and all that, which she still can be. But at the same time, I do like the show is growing with her, and it was all and it really starts with the movie where, you know, Louise gets kind of this bravery put into herself, not just for the fact that she helped to save the pier at the end, but the fact that is the story of her being told of why she wears the ears, and how it kind of helps to change how the course of how she grows as a character throughout the course of the season. And I thought that was really something impressive that they were able to do. And I think none of that speaks truer words than what we got in only the second episode of season 14, and that is the episode that a lot of people have been talking about recently, and that is The Amazing Rudy, which you have, you know, regular-sized Rudy. You know, he's emotionally preparing himself for another awkward monthly dinner with his divorced parents and their new parents by preparing a new magic trick to perform at the dinner table when they go out. The trick goes wrong, and then Rudy runs away from the restaurant and eventually wanders by the Belcher residence. And then, slowly but surely, the Belchers eventually realize that as Rudy joins them for dinner, Rudy basically ran away from the restaurant as they're about to call his parents, and Bob prepares to drive him back. However, seeing how distraught Rudy is, Louise actually offers to join Rudy at the restaurant to keep him company. And then by the end of the episode, Bob and Linda kind of admit that they have a very special girl in their daughter. And it's a very, very good episode. Like, everything you've heard about this episode is absolutely true. It is a gut-punching episode. Like, you really do feel bad for Rudy, but you also feel really good about the way it ends. Like, it doesn't end on like the happy note that you think it is, but it ends on a very comforting note too, from the fact that like Louise was willing to put her all into it to help Rudy out. I mean, the episode does a very good job of handling everything going on in this kid's life, and like the complicated things that he has to deal with throughout the course of the episode.
I kinda walked out of dinner with my mom and her boyfriend and my dad and his Vicky. We were all eating dinner together for the first time, which I guess is how family dinners are going to be from now on. And I did a magic trick, and it was going to be pretty good, but I messed it up. And I guess, technically I ran away.
Wait, what?
Oh boy.
Like that realization that when Rudy comes to the Belchers restaurant and to their home, and they slowly but surely start to realize that something is up here. Like, they don't even know for certain how to really work through a situation like this. Like, it's a really difficult situation for everyone to be involved in. And I like how they don't have the straightforward right answers right from the get-go. And I like how, and again, with Louise's character growth over the last couple of seasons, it definitely shows at the end of this episode. The fact that she's willing to help him out in this situation by going to the restaurant to helping him be a little more comfortable. Like, I like that. I like the way that they handled that situation, and I think it's a very well handled and well executed episode, mostly because of everything I just talked about, but also because of the performance of Brian Husky, who plays Rudy in the...
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. It was really nice.
Yeah, of course, hon.
I'm just gonna wait out here. If it's okay,
Brian Husky, who plays regular-sized Rudy, gives a really good performance that you can really buy into this kid, even though he's voiced by a grown adult in the show, but like, he's really given it his all in this performance, and I think that's very well done. I think it's a great handling of the situation, and it's just a very good episode at all, and it ends on a nice little note. Like, they go to the restaurant, this is a situation where they find themselves in, and everybody gets together and realizes that everything's okay, gonna be okay, despite the fact that they're in this situation where, they're in the situation that they're in right now, and it's just like, it's a great handling. That I like the show that is willing to take chances with episodes like this and not just be a straightforward comedy show by doing the same thing over and over and over again. Like, there are episodes where they really do go in and do something very unique and very different than a normal show from Fox's animation lineup can actually do. And these last couple of seasons have definitely shown that that is indeed the case with Bob's Burgers, and hopefully that's going to continue on going forward. And I'm hoping that Disney is basically letting them do whatever they want at this point, because they know that this is working for them. Kind of like what's going on with The Simpsons. Like, they know that The Simpsons is still one of the biggest successes out there, even though the show's been on for pretty much the length of my life on Earth. But like they know it's a marketing machine. They know what they're doing over at The Simpsons is working. So why mess with the success that they're having over there? And I think they've done a very good job of letting The Simpsons and Bob's Burgers do whatever they want. And even Family Guy, too, even though I don't think Family Guy's really taken full advantage of that opportunity as much as The Simpsons and Bob's Burgers are. But Bob's Burgers really is probably the best animated primetime show on television right now. And it's not even close. I mean, The Simpsons is very close, but other than that, it's not even close by any means necessary. And I hope that continues going forward, because they've been doing a great job of more character development with everybody involved, not just with Louise, not just with Rudy, but everybody else on the show, everybody else in the main cast. And they're not afraid to do these experimental episodes that are so very different and so very unique from one another. And I really hope they continue doing that going forward, because they're really onto something, and it's showing in the way these episodes are being presented. It's just a really great show that is getting better and better, and slowly but surely, this is becoming one of my favorite shows of all time. It was always my show I really liked, but as the seasons have gone on, this show has really become very high up in my all-time favorite shows. Like, I love the way this show has been able to stay consistently funny and also been able to tug at your heartstrings at times. Like, it does a very good job of handling a mix of a perfect balance of comedy and more dramatic moments, but never going away with what makes the show so significant and special. And like I said, I hope they continue that going forward, because I really like what they have done with the show since the second season onward, and hopefully that will continue for the rest of the show going forwards. But so yeah, like I said, Bob's Burgers, I think it's probably the best primetime animated show we have right now. If you agree with me, let me know your thoughts down below. I would really like to hear what you think about this subject at hand. And thank you for watching this episode. You can go ahead and check out my favorite movies video that I did, where I put all the my favorite movies together in one consecutive video. You go check that out in the corner there, and also check out the other episodes of the Reviewing Network Talks About I've done, and also hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. So, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week with another episode. So until then, take care.